Midwest Whitetails brought to you by Realtree, Hoyt, Muddy Outdoors, Fuse Accessories, Frigid Forage, Rocket Arrowheads, Scott Archery, Night and Hail Game Calls, Camden Outdoors, and Nikon.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. We've been chasing the birds around this morning for a couple of hours. We started about a mile and a half away, and here we are right up by the house. There was one gobbling just on the other side of this timber, so we're going to go after this bird right now. But in the meantime, we've got several turkey hunts coming to you in today's episode, and a segment on how to age deer on the hoof. So we'll check those out first, and we'll come back and see if we can find this bird.
It's May 3rd, we're here in Iowa, and we just had an interesting turkey hunt. The two gobblers that come in this morning came in pretty early. Jared had his bow, we were trying to get a shot for him first. They just didn't allow for a good shot, so as they were walking away, I took my first shot. Not sure what happened, but I was forced to take another shot and didn't communicate real well with the cameraman. I was more worried about getting the turkey, but anyway, we got one. He's down on the ground out there, and it was a great classic hunt.
Just got up to him. He's an awesome bird. Got really long spurs, a really nice long beard. Looks like an older bird, so we're happy with that. And man, what an awesome hunt. It's a beautiful morning out here in Iowa. May 3rd, good day to be hunting.
Muddy Outdoors, Mike Valier, Chad Lathrop, Larry Kendall. We've been playing cat and mouse with this gobbler for about the last hour and 15 minutes, and he slipped in just over the top of the hill. And I think he spotted us up here. He wouldn't come all the way in. He was only 20 yards away, but he wouldn't pop up, and Andrew was aiming in the other direction toward the decoy, so the bird came in and got away. But we got another week of hunting season left here, so we're going to keep trying to get these guys, and we'll probably look for this bird again. He wasn't too spooked. He was still gobbling here just before we started the interview. Well, in this next segment, I'm going to talk about how to age bucks on the hoof. And I don't have a real sophisticated approach, really. I don't try to separate them into individual age classes. What I look at is two categories: bucks that are 3.5 and younger, and bucks that are 4.5 and older. I have a really hard time separating the 4s from the 5s, from the 6s. I mean, they all kind of look the same past a certain point to me. But we're just going to look at this in two categories. So obviously the 1.5-year-old bucks are easy to tell. They usually have smaller antlers, real thin, streamlined bodies. At 2 years old, they start to beef up just a little bit. Still not, anywhere near husky looking. Still real streamlined, kind of like racehorses. Antlers are smaller. At 3, they're starting to bulk up just a little bit. You can see it in their chests, a little bit more in their necks. Faces start to get a little bit wider. Their noses appear shorter. But when they get to be 4, that's when they make this real transition, and I call them more like a rectangular shaped body. So they go from having that more of a waistline that comes up, almost like it's narrower just in front of their hind legs. With an older buck, it's almost straight across there. It's almost like they've got a belly that hangs down there that takes up that part of their body, of their profile. So that's one thing I look for. Another thing is the neck. A lot of times they're like people, their skin starts to get loose around their neck and around their face. It starts to hang down around their face. Their foreheads, a lot of times will get just a little bit wider. Their noses appear shorter. Their heads fill in. They just have an older appearance to them. But it's tough to tell on a trail camera picture the age of a buck for sure. A lot of times you've got to see them move and see how they behave and see how they're, just the shape of their body from different angles. But we're showing you footage here, and we've got it categorized into different age classes. So hopefully you can kind of get the same, that bird is still gobbling. Hopefully you can still get the same visual cues that we're taking when we look at these deer. Specifically, look for the loose neck, look for the rectangle shaped body, look for the thicker neck. The faces are a little bit looser skinned, heads are bigger, they just look huskier. Their shoulders and the front section starts to appear larger. A lot of times the other thing I look at is the length of their legs. If they look real long-legged, that means that their bodies are just not well developed and they're more streamlined. So when they start looking a little bit short-legged, that's another sign of age to me. So anyway, those are just a few quick things that we look for. But don't get too bent out of shape trying to separate the 4s and the 5s. I would just say, it's easy to tell 1, 2, and 3 from each other, and then you lump the rest of them into one category. So hopefully that helped you out. We like to hunt, go after the bucks based on the age. We don't necessarily go after them based on their antler size. We try to shoot the oldest deer that we've got around. So judging them by age is a big deal to us. In some areas of the country, it's not that big of a deal because you're just happy to shoot any buck. But in this area, we're fortunate enough and we've got access to enough land and there's enough deer management in this general neighborhood where some of the bucks are getting age to them. So then it gets to be more of a challenge to shoot the older age class deer. So this all becomes more important then. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully you learned something, and if nothing else, just enjoyed looking at some big deer. We appreciate you joining us this week on Midwest Whitetail. We'll see you again next week. Andrew's going to keep trying to shoot a turkey. And remember to always dream big.